Instagram sucks. As someone who's been on social media since 2007-ish, I can remember the glorious days of when MySpace was just for finding music, posting surveys, and making your profile fit the aesthetic that you wanted. I remember when Instagram was literally just for friends and family, no one was selling to you, no other purpose for Instagram except for posting photos. I remember when Snapchat had no filters. I remember when Facebook was just for posting updates on Farmville. All of this to say, I grew up with social media and I grew up with like the internet figuring itself out. I also feel very old being able to remember all this stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is social media, when it first was being introduced, was a place for fun, a place for connecting with friends and family. And now social media is just for how can we make money. And it is such a great thing for small businesses. But on the flip side, social media has become so overwhelming, and I think it's the combined nature of where social media is today, along with just simply the fact of I've been on social media for a very long time. I'm just kind of over it right now. Every time I get on Instagram, I feel like I'm trying to catch up. There's always stories to watch, there's a feed to look through, there's an explore, there's reels, there's always so much, and you're never gonna get caught up. Like truly, you're never gonna see it all. And that can leave you, one, feeling like you need to be on and see more, but two, feeling like you're missing out on important information, when in reality, you're probably not, but it can still feel like that sometimes. I never leave Instagram feeling better about myself or better about anything in life. And once I started realizing that, I was like, something has to change. I also find posting on Instagram to be very hard. I feel like I overthink it all. It used to be a place where I would just post photos and it was literally like a photo diary. Once I started my business, it became a place to show my work and show new techniques I was learning for hand lettering. That's what I did at the very beginning of my Instagram. Is I did like I think I had a 365-day challenge and I posted every single day for a year. It was just simple lettering, and after that year I did get a lot better at lettering, so I'm very grateful that I took the time to do that. But then by that point I had a business and I was trying to also post things that I was selling, and you just can't go back once you've done that. And now I'm in this weird phase of life where I don't really want to be selling anything to anyone. I am just so turned off by it from other people that I don't want to be doing it as well. So I'm really conflicted on what I should even post on Instagram. And I know I'm thinking way too hard over this. It shouldn't be that complicated, but yeah, here we are over 10 years later, still trying to perfect our feed, even if we're trying to also make it look authentic. Basically, I think I'm gonna try and just move my page to be more personal. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Going off of that though, like, who am I posting for? What is the point of posting my travels? Is it for me or is it for other people? Is it to show that I went somewhere? Like, that's kind of where I'm struggling right now, is even if I were to start moving towards personal, what would be the purpose of it? Does there need to be a purpose? I'm not sure. Like, this is why I just have so many conflicting thoughts on Instagram in general, is I don't really know what I'm feeling with it right now. All I know is that I'm not feeling great about it. I want to start making a scrapbook, like a digital scrapbook, and making those photo books, you know? In my mind, that should be enough, but it still feels like, because I guess I've been conditioned for over 10 years to, if I do something, you post about it, that it still feels like, well, I should still share about this trip I just went on. I'm just torn on that, so I think I'll probably just never post. I'd love to know if anyone else is feeling the same way about Instagram right now. Instagram was once a place you could connect with small businesses and customers, and I'm sure some of that is still going on, but it doesn't feel as community focused, and instead it feels like one giant ad always trying to tell you that you need this new thing. Instagram truly lost the charm that it once had. There was a reason why it was the top social media and no one could ever beat it. But now I think there's a lot of people who are still on it that don't want to be on it. And I feel like all I've been hearing for the last few years is that people don't want to be on Instagram, but they feel like they have to be. Prepping for this video and like thinking about this video topic really got me thinking and reflecting on, I guess, like social media and its impact on my life. A couple weeks ago, I decided I wanted to remove Instagram from my phone. So what I did was I removed it from the home screen. So now it's back here with all the other apps I have. And I find that's working really well. In the first week that I did this, I was only on Instagram for 1 hour, which is really good. Like for an entire week to only be on it for 1 hour, that's really impressive for me. I immediately saw the impact of removing it from my home screen. I just was so much more productive during work. I wasn't getting on and just doom scrolling. And I still do that with TikTok, but this kind of worked for both apps. Is this very conscious decision to not be getting on social media immediately switched. I'm gonna move you for a minute because you're actually sitting on the thing that I want to show you. What I was realizing was after work, I would just go sit on the couch and get on social media, and then my night would be over and I didn't really do anything else. And instead, the week that I did this, I tried to find ways to fill that time with something more productive or better for myself. So cleaning the house or making food or creating my reading journal. I spent a few nights working on this, and that really helped me not even think about social media. So I'm really happy with the fact that I've created a book journal. I've been wanting to do this forever, and I finally just sat down and did it. So now I have this nice little reading journal. I gotta fill everything in. Oh, look at this page. Cut out paper, watercolored snow, and then put some glitter paint on it. Actually, it's not watercolor, it's acrylic paint. But I'm getting my TBR done, and then my monthly faves. So it's not really like anything to write home about, but it's giving me something to do that isn't social media. It also gets to fill that creative void, and it's not anything to do with making money. I'm not making this for anyone else besides me. So it's actually really nice to just have this little hobby thing to look forward to. And every time I read a book, I get excited to add it to here. And yeah, looking forward to next year where I get to fill this out even more. But for now, we got this little one. I'm gonna put you back where you were. So that was what I worked on that week. And it just felt really good to be so creative and inspired when I haven't really been feeling that way in a long time. It just was like immediately had a good impact on my life. And then the second week I went on vacation. So I was using Instagram a lot more because I was posting to my story about where we were each day. I think that's kind of where I'm at with Instagram is I'm okay with posting to my story, but to my feed, it's just a whole different thing. But all that to say, I don't even know if I touched on this, but I also wasn't on TikTok as much the last 2 weeks. I'm trying to be better about one, not going on social media during the workday. Two, not just getting done with work and immediately going to sit on the couch and do that. So I have lots of books on my phone. I always have Kindle books. I always have audiobooks. So there's always something to do entertainment wise on my phone. Editing Jordan here to stress an important thing that I left out of this entire video. I think one of my biggest issues with Instagram and TikTok is that you are fed information that you're not necessarily seeking out. Whereas YouTube, you are seeking that information out, and that's when you get fed more content like it. So if I'm looking up small business vlogs, I'm gonna start seeing that from a variety of creators, whether I follow them or not. If I start looking up gardening, I'm gonna start getting gardening videos. Whatever you actually seek out and look, you're gonna start getting videos like that on your homepage on YouTube. Here's my dilemma with it, is like, I do love that people are sharing their lives, but sometimes things are negative in other people's lives. And I'm not saying you shouldn't share about that, but sometimes you have to be really conscious of, can you in particular handle constantly seeing negativity? And I think that's part of what can bring me down sometimes. You have to be really conscious of that and step aside from that if you don't want to see it. Like sometimes it's fine to be able to relate to someone who's going through a hardship or send sympathy or whatever, but sometimes you just can't bear it all. We're not meant to know the entire world's problems all the time, 24/7. That is just a lot for us to handle. It's not to say like other people's problems don't matter, but sometimes we just can't worry about it all. I think if we let ourselves worry about every single problem in the world, we are just increasing our anxiety and stress, and that leads to health issues. I think it's definitely natural to feel empathy for other people, but we just have to be conscious of where we're at mentally and physically, and if we can handle more of that. I will see a video of someone complaining about their husband or boyfriend or whatever, and then I will start noticing that about my husband and start getting annoyed. I have to like really be conscious of this and stop myself and say, am I actually annoyed, or do I just feel like I should be annoyed because hundreds and thousands of people in the comments of that video were saying, yeah, this is stupid, this isn't right, or whatever, and now I feel I should be annoyed too. And at the end of the day, if my husband doesn't pick up a dish or he forgets to put the clean dishes away, the world's not gonna fall apart. Is it annoying that I asked him to put the dishes away after I clean them? Yeah, but life will go on and there are bigger fish to fry. I feel like it's so easy to get on the side of TikTok that's like feeding that narrative that everyone needs to be equal 24/7. You can get really down really quick, and I just don't like when I have seen it actually make me mad. And so I'm trying to be better about that and scrolling those types of videos right away so I don't see any more of them. That's one thing that I really try to not pay attention to anymore, and I try to seek out more small business videos and crafting videos or happy content. I should have kept this short and sweet, but I really wanted to like hit this point. Yeah, just be careful with what you're actually watching and how it's actually impacting your life. Now I'm just repeating myself, so I'm done. I think you get the point. Back to whatever else I was talking about. Okay, so now that I'm done ranting about why Instagram sucks, I want to talk about why I enjoy YouTube and why it's like the only social media that doesn't make me feel worse about myself. YouTube has been a great platform for me as a creator, but also me as a creative person and just someone who wants to watch entertainment every once in a while. I love watching cozy vlogs. I love watching TBR updates and anything bookish related. I love watching small business videos. The main reason I think that YouTube is superior to everyone else is because I never leave the app feeling worse about myself. I always leave the app feeling either happy, entertained, or inspired. YouTube honestly feels like a big hug. It feels inviting. The creators on there feel excited. You can tell that people genuinely want to create the content they're making when they're on YouTube, but on everything else, you can sometimes see that it feels forced. Have you ever noticed that when you're on Instagram or TikTok and you leave the app, you literally don't remember anything you just watched? I think it's because everything's so fast paced. You don't have time to sit and actually learn something. Unless you go in like a rabbit hole deep dive of something, you're probably not going to remember everything you just watched. So you could watch 100 videos and not remember more than maybe 2 of them, which sucks because not only is that like ruining our brains, but also as the creator, like you're putting yourself out there and no one's remembering what they just saw. But when I'm on YouTube, I'm intentionally going there to watch something. I'm going there to find something to sit down for 10 minutes and watch. Generally, I remember the things I watch. Even if I watch a few videos, I generally remember most of the content that I watched. I watch a lot of premiere videos, and it's amazing that there is so much content out on YouTube for free, and you can just learn about literally anything. I feel like when you're on YouTube, there's a lot less noise, and it really does allow you to focus on one thing at a time. Another great thing is that YouTube really does want all creators of all sizes to shine, because the better they do, the better YouTube does. So YouTube really does want us to do good. And one thing I've noticed is that there are a lot of small creators who show up on my home feed. So if I start searching a topic, I will start to get videos like that after I've watched a few videos on that topic. And sometimes they are from small creators. Sometimes they have less than 1,000, 5,000 subscribers, and those videos are still getting pushed out. So YouTube wants to push out the videos that they think you're gonna watch. They don't want to just throw everything at you. The homepage is really great for seeing the content from people you watch and for learning about new creators. Definitely appreciate that fact that you can be a small creator and still be getting on people's homepage. As long as you have content that's relevant to them, you have a chance. I think a benefit to switching from TikTok and short form content to YouTube and doing long form content is you're gonna get better at a lot of skills. You're gonna get better at talking to the camera and feeling more comfortable talking about whatever content you're talking about. I have noticed a video like this will take me probably a third of the time it used to take me, because I would just fumble over my words so much and I was so uncomfortable. I'm not asking you to go back into my old videos, but I can tell that I was a little bit uncomfortable filming them, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better with that. I feel like I've allowed myself to not be this rigid little robot speaking, and I've allowed some personality to show through. I'm a lot more okay with making mistakes and not being perfect all the time. So I'm much better at video editing now, and not just in like the quality of my edits, but also the speed. So like I mentioned, it takes me less time to speak and get the actual content filmed, but also the editing part I'm way quicker at now than I used to be. And that just comes with the territory of doing this every single week. So overall, I think YouTube is the best platform to be on. I think it's the best for pushing out content to the people who actually want to see it. But by far, the best part about it is that it doesn't affect my mental health. The only time I get overwhelmed is when I'm doing something to myself, as in I'm trying to do so many videos in a week or in a month and I just can't keep up with it. So that's my own doing, not YouTube's fault, because YouTube really just doesn't care how much you post. They want consistency. They want to know what to expect from you. That's pretty standard across every platform. So even if you're doing one video a week, that's fine. If you're a small business owner and and you love creating videos, I highly recommend moving over to YouTube. I think in the long run, you'll see a better return on your investment. You'll have more invested subscribers and people who actually want to see your content and buy from you or learn from you. I think people on YouTube, you can see it with the comments alone. I think people are a lot more invested in who they're watching. You can build better relationships on YouTube than anywhere else, I feel like, because people have a better connection with you. If you're not someone who loves video editing, send me an email. I'd love to chat with you and see if it's something we can work together with. Anyways, I think I'm starting to get tired. Just because I've gotten better at filming doesn't mean that it still doesn't make me tired talking this long. So I'm gonna go. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. Oh, and let me know if you have any questions or comments, concerns, anything you want to chat about in the comments. I would love to chat with you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.